Okay, welcome back, everybody, to the MTB Fraudcast. Denny,
The fraudulence will not stop. It will only continue until morale improves.
it'll only continue until morale improves. That's right. So I think this is episode four.
Yeah, yeah, it is
Episode
episode
four.
4. Yeah.
Cool. And I had a question. Mainly, I have several questions. Kind of talking about just like bikes. Denny, like how many bikes do you have, and what are they?
I currently have 3. Um, I have my downhill bike, which is a Canfield Jedi. I have my enduro bike, which is an Intense Tracer 29er. And then I have my e-bike, which is an Intense Taser Expert um, mulleted, which again, as I texted you the other day, speaking of fraudulence, shuttled with my e-bike, which is as fraudulent as it gets. But
Yeah,
yeah.
actually, talk to me about you shuttling an e-bike. Hold on.
All right, so I didn't do it technically. My buddy, who I love to death, and I hope he listens to this, um, is only has a budget for one bike, and he bought a downhill bike because that's where we primarily ride. And we decided to do a shuttle day, but you need to do a little bit of climbing because the access road doesn't go all the way up. So he's like, "Hey, can you bring your e-bike so I can ride something?" And I said, "Sure." And I was like, "The cost of this is you have to put this on the rack every time because my e-bike, not eBay, my e-bike weighs 60 pounds." And I was like, I'm not doing this. So you're gonna have to do that. So yeah, that was I thought of you right away when that was happening. I was like, yep, I gotta let Corbin know about about this.
How much how many laps did you guys get in? Like how many reps is he doing to get it on the bike rack?
Oh, he's, it's crazy. He's actually a professional race car driver. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, he's been to Europe. He's super fit, so it doesn't really matter. But I think we did about 7 or 8 laps. And by the end of it, he was donezo with it. I was like,
Oh my gosh. Were you
this is
towing him up the road?
no, he rode the e-bike. I didn't. So
Oh.
I told him, I was like, yeah, I'll bring it for you because he doesn't have a pedal bike because he's getting a hardtail but just doesn't have one right now.
Dude, I've
Yeah.
seen it at like bike parks and stuff. I've seen
Hmm.
e-bikes on the racks. I mean, it's shoot, it still gets you down the mountain.
What about you? What do you got? I know you got way more than I do.
Um, yeah, I've got some bikes. I have less bikes now than I don't know. I have a weird bike quiver, which when I texted you that, you were like, "What are you talking about? Quiver? Is this Skyrim?" And I was like, "Bro, that's like such a common expression. I've heard that all the time of, oh, this is the perfect bike quiver of
I've
like
never
a quiver of arrows." Yeah,
Corbin, I'm telling you, I've never heard that before. Like, I know what a quiver is when you say it, but like I think of like, oh, I quivered. Like I was like when you shake, like you're nervous. Like that's what I thought of. I'm like, is that like a slang thing? Like you're nervous on the bike? Like I don't understand. Like I like now that you it makes sense, but I've never heard
that
that
was funny.
before. I'm not even. That must be a PNW thing, man.
Maybe it could be. Probably is.
Yeah.
So the so yeah, okay. So I'll start with I have my e-bike and then which is a Trek Slash Plus, which I'm selling, by the way. We'll get into that kind of later. But I have the e-bike Trek Slash Plus. I have my trail bike, my Deviate Highlander,
Okay.
150, and then I have a like an electric commuter bike
Oh,
to just get to and from work, to go to the store, to do like
sick.
easy trips, just on the road. Those are the three bikes I have. So I actually don't have my like Spindrift, because I leased that from
Oh.
my company. And then when I broke my hand and the doctor was like, "Yeah, you're 6 months out," I was like, "Okay, can I not lease this bike for 6 months?" And yeah, they were totally cool to take it back. So I've only
Okay.
got three, but three's like still kind of a lot. Like some people only have like
Yes.
one, and so I guess that's kind of the question I have is like you have your enduro bike, your e-bike, and then your downhill bike.
Yeah.
Do you um do you feel like that's too many? Do you feel like you ride
Yes.
a couple
I
more?
do.
Yeah, talk to me about that.
I do. I think the enduro and the downhill bike kind of cancel each other out. Especially because I have downhill tires on my enduro bike because that was my primary bike for the longest time. And then I was like, you know what? I ride this park so much, I'm just gonna buy a downhill bike. I would say like the two like best bikes you can own is probably like a longer travel e-bike and like a maybe like mid-travel enduro bike. I feel like you can get the most out of that. But I do feel like I think three is good if you have a bit more variety. I don't, and I kind of want, I like my enduro bike. I have an emotional attachment to that thing because it was like my first real bike that I got. But I would say like I'd much prefer like a more like a pedal friendly travel bike, maybe like a 140, 130 type thing. And then, or honestly, even just the downhill and the e-bike for me, I think that kind of would be more than enough, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it totally depends on just like what use cases you have. Like I mentioned, I'm selling my Slash Plus, the e-bike, and I'm going to
Yeah.
replace it with the like propane Stretch SL because the TQ HPR 60 motor is just infinitely
Yes.
better. And like I like that. Obviously, I work for propane, so extremely biased, but like
Yeah.
I like that bike's kinematics more than the Slash Plus.
Hmm.
But I also thought about selling my like electric commuter bike. Um, but every time I think about selling that, I'm like, there's so many use cases where I just like I actually ride this bike, like it doesn't just
Right.
sit in the garage. But the my trail bike, my Highlander, that bike like hardly gets ridden these days because it's
Hmm.
mostly like e-bike or it was like the Spindrift, and the
Yeah.
Spindrift kind of fit that like downhill. It is the downhill shuttle bike, but it's also the big enduro bike. And I was like, dude, that
Yes.
thing just pedals so well, and like modern bikes are so good that like why would I ride one when I have, have that?
It's like this weird dichotomy though, because like a lot of people are overbiked a lot of the time, which I don't think is as big of a deal as people like make it out to be. It's like, oh, you have too much. It's like whatever, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm just getting out, whatever. But it's weird too, because I remember I got rid of my trail bike because like I had this enduro bike and then I had my e-bike, and I'm like, I don't see any scenario where I'm gonna ride this. And I think it's I think it's just like I do miss like going out on those pedals, but it
Do
is
you?
real. I do kind of like it depends. Like if I'm like at a smaller, listen, you have to understand. Like I've told you a million times. I don't have these huge grindy climbs like you guys do. Like it's not a
Sure.
2,000 up and a 2,000 down. It's like a descend 200 back up, descend 200 back up, depending on where you are. But I don't know. I'm not in. I'm not in mountain biking for like the health aspects of it. I'm in it for the stoke stees, whatever you want to talk about. Like I enjoy just bombing down. I'm a park rat. Like I'm that. It was so funny because we when we did the shuttle labs, we rode with a guy who's like an XC, like he does amateur racing and he's pretty good at it. And like after the third time up, we're like sucking wind, and he's just like you guys are good. I'm like, you can tell we ride park all the time. Like we don't do it. But that's why I got the e-bike too, because I do enjoy those exploratory rides on the e-bike.
Sure.
So is that trend?
Did you buy the e-bike new?
I did actually. My suggestion, if you're going to buy an e-bike, is the opposite of a downhill, is get a new one. It's worth it. You don't know what happened to the motor, you don't know what happened to the battery. You can get such good deals on bikes, like e-bikes now, especially because I think all even like intense now, and that's just what I'm familiar with because that's that's where I bought it from. I went back to look for a part. They're moving to a completely different battery and motor setup. So they're just trying to get rid of old stock. So that
Yeah.
bike, when it was new, was about 7 grand. I paid new with shipping, I think a little less than, I think I paid a little more than 4 grand. It was a steal. I couldn't, and plus the batteries, I would just get new on an e-bike if you had to.
It's like there's just so many deals on e-bike, literally for what you said, because technology is advancing so
Right,
rapidly. It's like if you have stock, you need to get rid of it to like get new stock. And I think
yeah,
that's where a lot of bikes kind of are changing these days is like we haven't seen really big revolutionary updates in the analog bike world, I don't
right,
think. But the e-bike, we have bigger motors, we have better motors, we have better
right.
batteries, lighter. It's like there's so much room for advancement that yeah, there's a ton of sweet deals out there on new bikes, right?
Is that Trek you had? Is that a full power or is that one of those SLs?
No, it's considered an SL, so it has the TQ HPR 50 motor, which 50 just means Newton meters.
Right.
of power, and then its peak wattage is like 300 watts, so it's not
Okay.
that high with a 580-watt battery. So it fits pretty snugly in the like mid power e-bike
I
world.
was gonna say because 580 is pretty burly of a battery
It's
for
burly of a battery, but really the levels of e-bike, like super light, mid power, whatever, full power, that's
yeah,
just depending on the motor strength.
right.
So, and like the TQ HPR 60 motor, it has 60 Newton meters, peak watts of like 350. So it's substantially powerful. And I've been riding a lot with one of my coworkers who's on the Stretch SL.
Yeah.
That's propane's version, and
Yeah.
it's like he uses a little less battery than I do, and I'm on full boost, totally maxed out, and he
Yeah.
could ride it in like the middle setting, because there's just that much
Yeah.
of a difference
Have you
between
ever
those.
rode
So
any of the lightweight e-bikes? E-bikes? I'm like kind of like I kind of don't love them. I don't know how you feel about that. I feel like it's like just go one way or the other. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I haven't ever ridden ridden them. The really one I'm thinking about is oh, what's it? Santa Cruz has it. It's super light, like the Knievo SL or something.
Yeah. Okay.
Or I think that's specialized. It's like
Yes.
barely anything. I think it's
Yeah.
like 30 Newton meters. That's
Yeah.
just not worth it. Like you're gonna kill the battery before your legs give out, in my opinion. Um,
Right.
yeah, I don't think those are worth it. I really am a big fan of the mid power range. Um, but I think there's a huge use case for people in the full power. Like you said, you're intense. Like, have you ever killed your battery?
Yeah, one time I have, but here's the thing: when I bought it, it had a 500 watt, and it was not big enough, and I bought a 620 for it because that was like that's the big thing I have to stress to people if you're buying an e-bike is pay attention to how big the battery is because anything in my opinion below 600, especially if you're a bigger guy like me, like I'm 225 pounds, is not as much, especially for full power specifically. I don't know how it is for the mid power, but the full power like 600-ish, and like you can get them up to I think like Canyon has one that's like 900,
Yeah, I
which
mean, they have like 800-watt batteries for sure. Like that's a pretty common battery level,
yeah,
but it, dude, it super depends on, yeah, like your rider weight,
yeah,
and the motor output, right? Like a 500-watt battery on a motor that's cranking out, 85 Newton meters up to 750-watt like
yeah,
power, that's gonna drain way faster than, oh, I don't know, like a 360-watt battery
right.
with a 50 Newton meter motor. Um, yeah, but I don't know. I think it's a really good call. When you killed your 500-watt battery, do you remember how like many miles or elevation you did on that?
No, I don't. I knew it was coming, and I kind of was like, okay, can I get up one more time before I? Because I'll swap them out. Like I even have like a second like a mud plate on it just so I could swap them.
Cool.
But I honestly think like 600, 700, like that's more than enough. Like depending on how long you want to ride. Like I've only swapped batteries I think once. Just by the time I was so beat up, and it's the style of riding I use, but it's I think when you like full power, I would definitely like go 600 and up because you're gonna end up wanting more. And they do
Yeah.
make battery extenders, but not for every bike. It's just get the right thing. I made like a video on this over the summer. Like I made the mistake of going with the lower model, and I should have just bought the higher model because I wound up buying the battery, a different fork, a different shock. I'm like, okay, cool. I just spent more money than I
Yeah.
should have. But
And
mm-mm.
Pink Bike actually released an article about Intense, that they created like a 3D configurator so you can build a bike, build your quote unquote dream bike from the options they have.
Yeah,
Um, Again, Propane has been doing this since like the inception of the company for the past 3 years.
yeah,
But I say that because like I think that is such a valuable piece. Like the configurator itself as a product, regardless of if you're using Propane, Intense, Deviate actually has one as well. Like companies are getting into this, where you can select your frame, size, color, and then there's an arsenal of products that you can attach to it,
yeah.
which like in your case, you bought a bike, but then you ended up upgrading all this other
Yeah,
stuff, and now you have
yeah,
like throwaway parts that you're trying to then sell or you just keep for backup when you could just customize it right out the gate is like that's
Yeah.
such a cool thing for new new bikes. So,
It's funny actually. I sold the fork to a guy actually lives not that far from you. It's in the PNW area. And I to fit it in the box I had to take all the air out. And I told him, I'm like, listen, don't be alarmed when you get this. There's gonna be no air in it. He goes, oh, I'm sorry. Was air extra? Did I have to pay too much?
you
And
didn't charge the premium air.
I said, I was like, this is East Coast air, buddy. It's not gonna work over there. For like what do you think is when people go to get a bike or what's the most like overlooked thing that you end up going, you know what? I should have thought about X when I went to go buy the bike.
Uh, yeah, I think that's a good question because it's like when it comes to getting a new bike,
Yeah.
what what matters? Like
Hmm.
is it the new frame, the updated
Right.
geometry of the frame or the, you know, color of it? Is it the components that come on the bike? Um, the newer stuff is like what's actually making this bike ride well, I think
Right.
is the kind of important question. In terms of what people overlook, I don't know. I think I can't speak for obviously everyone. I think for me, I have the opposite problem where I scrutinize every
Okay.
detail.
Right.
And so I feel like I'm not overlooking, or I guess the thing I'm overlooking the most is like it doesn't matter a whole lot.
Right.
It's like I get into this decision paralysis of uh, like when I was building up my Spindrift, it was like, what color scheme do I go with? I got to be fashion out there. What components do I go with? What
Yeah.
size do I go with? Because I'm in between, the size range.
Me
How
too.
do I want
Yeah.
it to like
Yeah.
ride? What wheel size? The, head angle of this in this setting versus like the chainstay, the wheelbase, whatever. It's like I just consider every little thing. And
Yeah.
then, a month goes by and I haven't purchased the bike because I'm like, I can't make a decision. It's definitely decision paralysis for me.
That's an interesting perspective because I'm kind of the opposite where I'm just like this'll do like type of thing and I think the one thing I would stress and just because I've gone through it with the e-bike and the purchasing of it is don't be so mesmerized by the bottom line. Um and like I know money is important, these bikes are expensive, I get it, but just take a step back and look at it because if there's another model, just look at what you're getting for that extra X amount of money. Because in the end, like I rode some really, really, I know you've ridden DVO a lot. I know you've worked with them, but the ones I got were like really low end. And it was like, I just wasn't happy with it. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to upgrade that. And then I'm like, well, this battery's not great. I'm going to upgrade that. And I'm like, well, this derailleur's not great. I'm going to upgrade, as opposed to just, I could have just did this to begin with. Like, and again, like if it's fine, like if you're cool with whatever you got, like that's fine. If that's what you want, go and get it. But I now have more of an awareness of like components because I do think that is where, especially too, because like the amount of times I've built my dream propane rage on the propane website is insane. One of these days I'm gonna own that bike. That's my dream bike right now.
Yeah, it's sick.
And it's like that's where bikes can get pricey is in the components. Like I think propane, and I'm not just saying this because you work for them, I think they do a good job of keeping the cost down compared to like some other things. Because like if you go on another website, I won't say the name, but like you can start adding things up, and it's like an $11,000 bike, and you're like, well,
Oh yeah.
how the
And I
hell did
mean,
you get
so
here?
like propane, we you can get there for sure on our
Oh,
configurator.
yeah,
But it is interesting of just like component price to value
yeah.
ratio. Like you said, you upgraded the fork, the battery, the derailleur. Um, is that just on your e-bike, or have you done like other component upgrades across your bikes?
So my downhill bike, I've almost kept stock. The only thing I changed the pedals. I'm very picky about my pedals and grips.
As you should be.
I'm very picky.
Those are like the main contact points, right? Like,
Yeah, and that's what I say. That I'm like I'm very picky about that. But no, I've left it pretty much. The only thing I've done is I've changed the tires to the radials, which are awesome if you haven't rode them yet, especially for bike park. I don't know how they would do in a trail situation. I don't pedal. I'm not about that life.
Unless you have
I
a
like
motor behind you.
unless obviously, dude. Like we have technology, man. It's 2025. Let's get with the program, people. Don't use your legs. Listen, we're not horses. You
This
know,
is the MTB fraudcast over
dude,
here.
fraudulence. Anyway,
Bunch of
um,
cheaters.
no, my enduro, I have I've so my enduro, I added a Sprindex to it. There's a weird reason. My coil, the Merzaki CR that I had, is a pro part only, and I knew people that could get it for me, and they stopped making it. And the only thing that fit was the Sprindex. Is it cool? Yes. Is it worth $120? No, it's not. I'm a big proponent of the coil. I don't really love air shocks, but yeah, kind of. I upgraded the brakes too. Like I think that's a big thing. Is I think a lot of bikes that lose costs are obviously in suspension and brakes too. So if you can get a good pair of brakes, like that'll save you a lot of time. Because I think mine came with Shimano XTs, and I put Hayes Dominions on them, and I think that's a big thing. I would say yes.
Yeah,
I would.
I see that a ton of the orders that come through for propane's customers is like the things that people are upgrading the most right away are suspension and brakes. Those
Yeah.
two, like I think you hit it on the head. Like the general population, like they want the bike to they want a good frame, right? Like that's obviously important, but
Right.
they want it to feel plush. They want it to feel supported,
Right.
and not, yeah. And bad suspension is like pretty bad, but I also think
Yes.
really good suspension set up poorly can also feel pretty bad.
Suspensions
But
is a dark art, man. I don't think anybody really gets it. I think sometimes you just kind of blindly go, "Oh, well, that feels all right," and then like a
dude,
lot of it's
I agree so much. Like I think people do know what they're doing with it. Like there's a ton of cool technology with it, especially on like the World Cup circuit and everything.
oh
I don't.
yeah,
Man, I've been riding for a bit now. Um, and I've tried to like save all my settings and like mess with the clicks, mess with the pressure. And I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm just like, dude, I just want to ride. Like it just feels like a bike. Like I don't know. I could turn it
right,
all the
yeah,
way one way, all the way the other way, and I'm like, maybe I suck. I don't know.
yeah. You're
It
you're
feels
not
okay.
you're
So
not Asa Vermette. You don't have a team of people like saying, "Oh, how's the suspension feel
yeah.
on the Hyatt?" And I'm just like, I mean, I just
But
want to keep my hands on the bars. Is really what it is.
on the flip side, I think with brakes is like I think almost any level of rider could feel the difference between a break they don't like and a break they
Yes.
would like, right? Like
Yes.
there's a ton of different ranges of modulation and like bite point and like all this stuff. But I think in general, if you have a preference and your new bike comes stock with like a really weak brake and you're
Hmm.
just trying to squeeze the levers so hard and it's not stopping and you're getting
Yeah.
afraid, or like the levers are going to the bar and you're not really feeling anything, is
Yeah.
like there's a clear difference, I think, for the general public between like a bad brake and a good brake.
Let me ask you, do you have the same brakes on your bikes or in the past? Have they been the same? Have you tried to be
No,
consistent with them?
I've kind of tried, but then I started to experiment quite
Okay.
a bit. But that gets so costly really quickly.
Yeah.
And so I've tried a few different ones. Like I started my career writing codes of all things.
Okay.
Because like I didn't start biking too long ago. Like the code and the
Yeah.
code RC was like one of the best brakes out there. And so
Hmm.
the my first bike came with them.
Right.
Um, and I was like, okay, these are cool. And then I got a really good deal on like Shimano XTs, so I tried those
Hmm.
on the Highlander and was like, man, these work great for a trail. Like I thought they were so solid. I went to the bike park
Yeah.
with them, did everything on that
It's not
bike.
enough. Yeah.
And yeah, and then I went to the Mavens on my Slash Plus.
Yeah.
Had a love-hate relationship with those brakes for a while.
That's always good. The thing that's preventing you from careening off a hill. That's
Yes, but they also like had dealt with all the Maven problems of like the
okay.
brakes feeling you have to pump them up quite a bit. You have to do like the piston massage, which for the record is absolutely ridiculous. Like you should not have to do a piston massage for a new brake. I think that's
What
Wild.
what is that? I don't even know what that is.
It
Explain that to the people at home and not for
Yeah,
me.
so like a piston massage is essentially you could take the wheel off, and you just squeeze the lever a couple times, and then your pistons move together, and then you
Yeah.
stick a little block in there to separate them, and you do
Yeah.
that a couple times. So the whole idea is you get the pistons working the same, because sometimes when they're just like sitting in the factory, sitting in these warehouses,
They don't extend the same, yeah.
exactly, and that's going to change
But
a
it's
whole bunch
new.
of
I
stuff.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
It's it's wild.
Interesting.
But
Okay.
after I was able to get them working, like get the Mavens working, and I got
Yeah.
like the power level set up with the rotor size that I liked, dude, I think they're phenomenal.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like they work great, but I'm really keen to try like Hope, the Evo, like Hope Evo brakes, their new stuff that they
Yep.
came out. I was interested in the um, I think Tech 4 V4s, but yeah,
Okay.
their new Evo line came out. So honestly, I'm waiting for Dale Stone to release a review video to tell me if they're actually good or not. Because like again,
Okay.
brakes are so expensive, but
Oh yeah, absolutely.
and also
They
like swapping brakes is just it's so time consuming.
oh
It's not
jeez.
fun, and then you got to get a new
No.
bleed kit. Um, yeah, I don't know. I would rather stay consistent, but like now on my Highlander, I have the Maven base,
Okay.
because I don't need the full power of the silvers. But the Maven bases work great too. A little bit more modulation, which is cool. But yeah, I don't know. I could go off on breaks. We do need to actually take a break and reset this, which is kind of
Okay.
funny.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey,
But yeah,
before we go, just people at home, comment below what brakes you're riding because I'm curious and if you like them or not.
I guess the question I have is when your like bikes break, what
Yeah.
do you go to a bike shop or do you service them yourself?
I am one of the most like insufficient technical insufficient people when it comes to bike stuff.
Okay, no
I
at-home mechanic.
No, 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 not at all. I've learned to do some more stuff. The problem is I don't have a space to do it. So there's a lot of brake fluid and grease on our living room carpet. Much
Oof.
Thankfully, my fiance is very cool and she understands. I clean up the best I can. Also, I just don't know. Like I didn't grow up doing that stuff. I never worked in a bike shop. There's some like I'm pretty good with brakes now, like I like cleaning and like all that stuff, like, and like doing that. But comes to anything else, like I strung my first derailleur a couple weeks ago, and it like sort of worked, so that was a win for me. But no, I usually go to the shop. The way I figure it is luckily the place by the bike park has actually showed me while they're doing it, which is really cool. So when I'm in a pinch and like I've learned stuff like, like torquing like new rotors, like you have to turn it to the clockwise and then you got to torque it in a certain pattern. Like I wouldn't have known any of that. Now I do. So that I'm getting there, but I usually let the professionals handle it. And I told the guy today at the bike shop, I'm just gonna start sending you like I'm gonna just give you my direct deposit at this point because I'm just
Here's
here
my
with
credit card on file. Please
yeah,
fix.
yeah. They're great guys and I don't mind doing it. But it does get a little frustrating sometimes because it can add up. It definitely can add up.
What about timing? Like, is it quick to get your bike back from the shop when there's some issue with it?
Depends. So a lot of the time, there's a shop around the corner that I give for small stuff. There's a shop that's about 20 minutes away from my house for the big stuff. And then if I'm at the bike park, they usually do it right then and there. They'll like drop whatever it is they're doing and they'll do it.
Dang.
They're really good. And the bike shop is literally like a block up the road. So like they're there for that reason. But yeah, most of the time I wouldn't say it wouldn't take more than a week, maybe like a couple days. I know it's also the problem is and I don't know if you guys have this problem. There aren't really many mountain bike specific shops. They're all a lot more concentrated on road stuff or gravel stuff. So finding a good mountain bike shop to do stuff on like servicing, like there's no suspension service anywhere near me. Like it doesn't exist. Like I have to drive to Connecticut or I have to drive to Jersey for it. Um, but yeah, no, there's people who are knowledgeable, but maybe not like I would like a more specific mountain bike shop
That's
essentially.
pretty interesting. I feel like um, we in the Pacific Northwest, at least the areas I've lived, there are a lot of not a lot, but there are a decent amount of bike shops.
Yeah.
But most mechanics in there know something about
Hmm.
everything to be able to service. But
Yeah.
I know there's like, I guess this is another audience question. Like people are pretty adamant about some shops that they'll go to and some shops
Yeah.
they won't. And there is like there can be weird bike shop cultures of
Yeah.
guy like
Yeah.
mechanics that do
That's
feel like they know
yes.
everything and every question from a customer is a stupid one, which is like so toxic.
It's
Um,
weird too because it's like I'm here to give you money. Like I'm here because I don't know. You don't have to remind me.
or be
I agree
condescending
with
about
that.
it, right? Like,
I agree with you. Yeah, that's a big thing with me. That's the big sticking point. I used to have a shop literally 2 minutes down the road. Shout out to my guy Chris, but Chris doesn't work there anymore. Chris was unbelievably good. Chris is not there anymore, so I don't really go there anymore. And then the other shop I go to, they're good, but like you said, they have this condescending-ish nature to them, and it's a little frustrating. And the guys who are at the bike park, which are great, but that's in New Jersey, so that's like an hour 15 away. It's not like if I'm there, I'll give you work, but I'm not driving there just to give you work and then drive an hour and 15 back as much as I would like to. So
and I've seen it too. Like I worked at a bike shop, and there were times where like some of the mechanics just got like normal job stuff. You get stressed, you get overwhelmed. Sometimes you don't have your most customer service friendly attitude. But
yeah,
it's like that's a customer service industry, and you're there to like
yeah,
serve the customer regardless of, I mean, sometimes customers do step out of line, right? And that
oh
it's
yeah,
okay to kind of correct that, but I feel like for the most time, people are just they're wanting to get their bikes fixed. They don't
yeah,
really know what's going on. They probably can't explain it that well
yeah.
for the mechanic to diagnose it, and they want it
It
back
make
tomorrow.
this sound. I have no idea why. Please explain.
Yeah,
Like it
like
make
all
this
those memes.
sound.
Explain it. It goes
It's
like
also true because then but there is the inverse of that, which I will defend bike shop owners. When like somebody comes in like, hey man, I have a race tomorrow. Can you do this, and this? And it's like, no, like you're like we can't get to you right now. I'm sorry. Like, and like there's been times where like I've gone in and they've given me they gave me sealant in a shop and they're like, oh, it's $5. And I'm like, hey man, I only have a credit card. Just charge me 10. And like I have no problem doing that because it's like, hey, you fit me in. So I have no problem doing stuff like that. So as long as I get taken care of, I will give you all the money in the world. Like I am so like loyal to a business that I love, especially a bike shop. So if you have a good bike shop, like just take care of those guys. It will come back to you. It will
yeah,
come back to you.
and there's like I remember working in the bike shop, there were customers that would literally bring like donuts and beer or something
Mm,
like that. And like
yeah.
it those acts didn't necessarily prioritize their work, but it just made the whole interaction better. And
Right.
then it also like goes down the road where then if a mechanic's working on the bike and they're able to eat a donut that the owner of that bike brought, they're like, oh, this is cool. I see this little extra thing on their bike that they didn't
Yeah.
necessarily pay for or know about. Let me just spend the next 5 minutes fixing this real quick. As
Yep.
like, I
It
don't know,
goes a
that kind
long
of
way.
stuff works. Yeah, it does go a long way. It does add up, but like to your point, dude, I hate my bikes being out of commission. And I hate not having the like ability to ride the bike I want to ride. So I'm
Right.
that customer that is really internally, I'm so impatient when I bring my bike to a bike shop. And that's
Of
me coming
course.
from like working at a bike shop is like,
Yeah.
I just want it fixed and I want to be able to ride it tomorrow. But yeah, that's so unrealistic. Um,
It's understandable. I mean, and depending on your mechanical literacy, mine is of a second grade level. It's I don't even think there's pictures in that book. It's just lines. But no, they it is good. Like I mean, like today I told you, I don't know if it was on air or off air. Like I'm on my third derailleur on my downhill bike. I called up the guys. Hey, do you have a jockey wheel for me? I'll do you one better. Somebody didn't use this derailleur. It's the same derailleur you have. It's brand new. We'll give it to you. I'll just charge you for an install.
that's
You think
sick.
that happens if I don't go in there? You know what I mean? And like
Yeah, that's
one of
so
the kids
rad.
who works in there 3D prints mud guards. He charged me $20. I gave him 30 because I know he's like it's like a young kid in a business. I was like, take it, man. Like I appreciate that. So if you get anything out of this podcast, anybody who's still listening or is listening, just like take care of the people at the bike shop. It will come back to you.
Yeah.
Like it will come back to you. Unless it's a really, really big shop, then it might not. But
If the shop feels super corporate and like,
yes, 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 yes.
but
If
yeah,
there's like
those local bike
franchises,
shops,
yeah,
yes.
yes.
Um,
That's a
but
good
it
point. I'm
does
glad you
like
said that.
bring up a point of like your derailleur breaking a lot and like talking about component upgrades and things. One
Yeah.
component upgrade that I'm kind of sold on is
What
a
a
really
transition,
nice
by the way.
chain. Yeah,
What a
good.
transition. Oh man, I couldn't let that go. What does the cat think?
Dude, she's just sleeping. I don't think there's anything
It's
going
fine.
on in her head right now.
I appreciated it. Trust
Um, but anyway, the component that I think I'm like sold on that is a lot of money is an upgraded chain. Like
Really?
that, yeah. And the reason for that is because like the chain is such a vital piece to like
Hmm.
your bike working. Um,
Interesting.
it rubs on the chain ring, it rubs all over the cassette, and those are also two more expensive components. It goes through the derailleur, and it's like if you have a high quality chain that's supposed to last a while, it's going to save your other components. Because like a cheap chain that stretches
Right.
over time, that breaks down the teeth on the chain ring, the
Yeah.
cassette, that's just going to cause so much more issues. And most people, I'd argue, do not check their chain health. They just keep like riding through it. Exactly. And it like by the time
Yeah.
that the chain is totally destroyed, you've probably also then destroyed like your cassette. And now you have to replace both of them or your whole drivetrain. So
It's
it's like
interesting.
I spend the money on a good chain and I don't regret it. You know?
It's interesting. I don't think I won't say I wouldn't. I've neglected it. I've just never. The ones I have are decent. You know what I mean? So I mean, I don't think I've never willingly gone out and bought one that I know that's like, ah, well, this one's 7 nickels. I'll buy this one. You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
I like I'll or 35 cents, depending on what type of math you use. But they yeah, no, that's interesting. I feel the same way, but about pedals, especially if you are a flat pedal guy. I know
Ew.
you are dabbling with the all
I'm not
right,
dabbling, dude.
relax.
I'm full converted now.
That's fine. I'm an old 90s 2000s BMX guy. I would try it, but it's what I'm used to. I don't really
Sure.
feel like changing it right now. But I run super aggressive pedals on two of my bikes and I love them. The Race Face
What's an
Atlases,
aggressive pedal? Like what makes it
the
aggressive?
pins. So the pins in them are, as we in the industry call them, shin scrapers or ankle biters or whatever you want to call them. They've got really, really big pins in them and they got a decent platform. I made the mistake when I first started with going really basement level pedals. I went with like I didn't know. I was just kind of like, okay, these look good, you know. And they were like $50 deities, and they weren't horrible, but like as I started progressing, my foot kept coming off, and I got super paranoid about it. So I got these. I literally looked up the most aggressive flat pedals you could buy, and Race Face Atlases came up, and I have them on my enduro, and I have them on my downhill bike, and I feel very strongly about them. So even if you like clip, like just don't like that and grips. Like grips are not expensive. Like just get good ones. Like
What
unless you dabble with the rev grips or whatever, which I haven't, but like I have the same 3 grips on every one of my bikes, and I
what are they
adore them.
thick grips? Like what grips are they?
They are the Bertec bartender super softs, and I adore them.
What do you know if they're like normal or if they're thick?
They're thick. They're not like super thick, but they're pretty thick. I'd have to double check, but they're just normal grips. You know, I
Yeah.
don't think they're like anything extra,
Okay.
but I feel very strongly about them. And I used to ride the PNW components, the loam ones, but I found when it got wet, they got a little slidey. So I moved on. They feel good. Those are good trail bike ones, but yeah,
I
I
don't know.
would
I kind of echo your thought actually for the PNW grips. I've ridden those as well. And for a company calling themselves like PNW components, I don't
they're not good
actually
in the
think
wet.
yeah, I don't actually think they're
Yeah.
good in the wet, dude. I found
As I
myself
was
sliding
saying
too.
that, I was like, yeah. And I like their stuff too, because like their droppers are the best in the game. Like I love those. I love them.
Dude, you think so? I'm so into the one up.
Anyway, I haven't tried it. I'm sure, but like I've had two of them. I had like this really crappy hardtail that I put a PNW loam dropper post on, and it was great. But I love that thing. That thing is great. I think again a dropper post too. Like that's another thing that gets overlooked on a bike, and you don't realize you need it until it's gone.
Oh, for sure. I think even one step further with like the dropper post component is seat post insertion depth on frames. Like I am a big component that if I ride a medium or a large, I want to have the option to safely slam at least a 180 on both
Yeah,
a medium and a large, right? Like the
yeah.
ideal would be, regardless of what bike you have, your fit, I guess the cat's gone. Your fit would be
Rap.
the dropper post is fully slammed, inserted into the seat tube, and then the dropper post fully extended fits perfectly for your ride,
Right.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
And
It's
some
one of
some
those things
bikes
that you
though are
don't think
like
about.
super
Yeah.
bad. Some bikes you
Yeah.
have to, I don't know, the post is like that far out, and it's just like
Yeah.
the seat is gonna hit you. Do
Yeah.
you care about the look of your bike?
Kind of not, no, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I really don't. I I think my bikes look okay, but my downhill bike doesn't look good. I have a bright orange Canfield Jedi that is
We'll
so
put it on the
fade.
screen. You'll send it to me, but
It is so faded that it's like almost salmon colored now. And it's kind of cool because that's kind of how I'm getting recognized now, but it doesn't match the color to the factory fork, and the guy I bought it from did like spokes that are orange and it also doesn't match, but the bike is unbelievable. So my Tracer is a good looking bike. It's tan, black, and red. It looks unbelievably good. And then the e-bike is a solid looking bike too, but I kind of care more how it rides. I really do. I think especially too in the mountain bikes, they're gonna get beat up, they're gonna get scratched up. They're not made of porcelain. They're gonna, it's different. Like, I don't know. I think they don't. I don't think they look offensive. Like, you know what I mean? There's not like a
sure.
giant penis on it somewhere, but
If you're
but
if you're looking for a, a new bike, are you going to consider the color?
I mean, kinda, yeah. But I mean, like I know one of my buddies actually has that Spindrift in that like purple. It's like that
Yeah, the
pink purple. I don't know.
lavender.
Yeah. Is that my first choice? No, but if like I could get a deal on that, I would absolutely buy it. I think it's cool. Like you know what I mean? Like I don't think
Sure.
it's a bad looking color, but like it wouldn't be my first choice. Like
Is there any color out there that is bad looking? Like, have you ever looked at a bike and was like, that thing's ugly?
orange, if I'm
How
being
can you say
honest.
that?
I don't like it. I mean, it's just not. It depends, man. I don't really like red on bikes. I don't think it looks good. It's just
Really?
my opinion. I think red's an accent color. I don't think it's a primary. I mean, it is a primary color, but I don't think it should be a main color. Like, I think the only red bike that looks okay is the Santa Cruz V10, and it's okay. I just don't like red. I think purple's an underrated color. And I think like not enough bikes do like that raw metallic look. That's just my opinion. I think black
Um,
is good for the first 10 minutes you own the bike. And then after that, it just looks like crap.
dude, I need
It's
to go back to the fact that you said you don't like orange on a bike and you own a bike that's entirely like different shades of orange.
oh yeah, yeah. But you can't get a Canfield Jedi fully factoried out for $2,900 anywhere else. So
True. You're
I
not
said,
wrong.
and Canfield, for all the good they do, they come in three colors, and at the time it was two. It was raw silver and orange. Now they do black, but they don't even do graphics on the black one because it's just black graphics, so you can't even tell. I love that bike, but it's not. It's an ugly duckling, but it's my duckling, and I like it. So I'm
That's
fine.
cool. But it's safe to say you don't care as much about
I know I
color
no I don't,
matching.
and I know you are the opposite.
Dude, I'm
I
so the opposite. Like
doesn't matter to me.
I'm very pretentious. Like I want my bike. I want to look at the bike and I want to think it's cool. Like I love stealthed out with a pretty loud accents, but
Mhm.
not accent colors everywhere, right? So
Right.
like my Spindrift, the all black, like raw matte black frame. was
Yeah.
sick, super sleek, tight.
Yeah.
I like that. I loved the red, like the red fork, the red coil with the red pedals. I thought that was so sick for the accent. Like
Yeah.
it's just kind of had that like
It's
that
just enough.
Jedi, the yeah, it was
Yeah.
cool. And then like my Highlander, same thing, really black with like silver and purple aesthetics. But I'm
The
such a
purple
sucker for
accent stuff
purple.
is nice. Yeah.
Any bike that has some purple on it that like makes
Yeah.
sense, dude, I'm so into
I
it.
wish more frames would come in purple because I think Santa Cruz might be the only one that really does it. I could be wrong with that, but
Yeah, there's other companies that are starting to do purple, but yeah,
yeah.
I agree. It's finding a full purple frame is like kind of hard.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know, man. I kind of care more about how it rides. Like I know my Tracer's a good looking bike, but at the end of the day, I like it for how it rides, you know? Like it's the Jedi especially. The Jedi is just like you can see like where the guy where the paint faded, like where the guy had like his name on it,
Oh
like the
yeah.
sticker and he took it off. And that was just like you're like, "Oh boy." Like
Dude, I
I,
also think though, like sometimes when I see a bike, like at a bike park or on the trails, whatever, that's so used, and it's
yeah.
like, dude, that I can't believe that thing is still kicking. You know,
Yeah.
it's like
Oh yeah.
a '90s, I don't know, Toyota, whatever you want to call it, is
Oh
like, oh,
yeah.
that thing's got so much character. It's got a dent here. Hopefully, it's still safe to ride, but like
Yeah.
dents,
Oh,
scratches,
you should see the
parts
dents in my
bin
rear rim,
stuff.
bro. Oh my God. Dude, you know what it is? I think I like more like instead of good, I want to say like aesthetically pleasing because that is subjective. I like unique. I think unique is interesting. Like I like that's why like I ride. I think the Canfield. I get a lot of comments on the Canfield because not there aren't many out there. It's a
Sure,
smaller brand. There's a couple guys at the park that have Athertons, and it's like, whoa, every time you see it, like I like unique. I think even if it's like a crazy paint scheme, like one of my buddies has like a metallic green V10 with yellow accents. It's
that's got to
completely
be custom.
custom. It
Yeah,
is
right.
custom, but it's like reflective metallic and it's so cool. And like I'm like I love and I know that probably costs a lot of money, but I'm like I love how different that is. I think that's
Sure.
so cool because I think a lot of the time in the mountain bike industry, I think sometimes like things can be a little too safe. Like when it comes to like, you know, like the whole color schemes. It's like, okay, black, white, red, okay, but like give me like I said, like give me something crazy. Like I'd like it's especially now too, like you go to the bike park and you see like everybody's rocking jean shorts and stuff all over again, which is weird to me. Like that's like a
That's
I
is weird. I agree.
I
Get
don't,
over it.
I don't get it, but yeah, it's but like I don't know. It's like their individuality, like it should come out in your bike too. Like I'm obnoxious, this bike is obnoxious too. So like I don't know. That's how I am. But I don't know,
I do
man. I
like
like
that.
unique.
I agree. I think having a like a bike is a your bike is like an extension of you in some sense, like what you
Hmm.
value. Also with like components, it's very easy to see a bike that you know costs probably $12,000, and
Yeah,
you're immediately like, holy cow, you can afford this. How? You know, or you see like a clapped out creaking bike, but the guy's in jean shorts doing flips over the jumps, like just passing
yeah.
everybody. It's like it. I feel like
Oh,
a bike should fit the rider, but like
yeah. Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know, I have really good components and I'm not like really good. So it's like it doesn't also
It's
have to. You just have to
first of
like
all,
it.
I think you are a good writer. One
Sick.
and two, like if that's your style, that's your style. I just
Yeah.
like for me, like I think to me, I think the more important, like the more thing I'm more impressed with, like I said, is if I see like a unique bike that I'm like, whoa, is that a? Oh, I can't believe that's so sick. As opposed to like, oh look, another specialized demo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's a guy I saw him. I don't think he's a local, but he had that purple and white propane rage, and I literally screamed at him from the. I'm like, that is my dream bike. Like I'm like, and there's not a lot of propanes out this way. It's just
No.
not. It's just not a bike. So anytime I see a Spindrift, I'm like, beautiful bike, man. I love that. And like I
Yeah.
know it's not like the most like oh unique snowflake bike whatever, but like out here they are. You know what I mean? Like
Oh,
they're
for
hard to
sure.
find. So
Yeah.
I think that's more interesting. I've never thought of it that way, but yeah, no, that's cool.
That's I mean that's also another reason why I picked up my Deviant Highlander is I wanted to try the high pivot world, and it's a Scottish manufacturer. I was like I think I saw one other bike in the PNW, like in the wild of a Deviant, and I was like, I want to own something that no one else has.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
like
kind of
it's
it's
pretty
like a
pretentious, but
uniqueness.
like
Yeah.
it is the uniqueness thing.
I don't think that's pretentious at all. It's kind of like it's similar to like owning cars and stuff. It's like, oh, I have
Sure.
this. There's only X amount, like, and it's
Yeah.
cool. Like, I do think the uniqueness is like that. I like when I ride the amount of people that come up to me and they call the bike. So many people, a lot of people have been calling it the creamsicle lately on the Jedi because it is that color, which
Is
is
there any white
wild.
to it? Isn't a
No,
creamsicle like
dude,
orange and white?
it's so faded though. So it's it's like salmon pink almost now. It's insane. But it's just funny though, because it's like when I ride the Tracer, people are like, oh, is that a Sprindex? Like, oh, those are cool. What's that like? Like, because I even think that there's like I have like ramp control on my downhill bike, which is wild, which is so unnecessary. But I have it, and
I mean,
people are
that's like
like,
this ramp control is the same as like hydraulic bottom out or like putting in
yeah.
tokens and stuff.
But people like the amount of kids that come up to me are like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "It's okay, so it's this," but and I'm like, "It's unnecessary. Don't buy it." Like, you know what I mean?
But it
Like,
is cool because it's different. The last question I would have is like, what's been your favorite bike and your least favorite bike you've either
mm,
owned or ridden?
I don't know if I've had a do I have to talk about bikes I still have? Because I had a BMX bike back in the day that I adored. I know it's not a mountain bike, but my favorite bike by a landslide is probably that Tracer, and it's probably the worst of the bikes I have. But I love that bike because it made me fall in love with riding mountain bikes. And it's not a perfect bike. It's a little too stiff on the rear end, and it's a full 29er where I wish it was mulleted, and it's carbon, which I like, but I don't really need, so I paid extra for it. But I think to really, and this sounds corny, and I was actually talking to somebody about this before, but for you to love like an inanimate object like a car or a bike, it has to have human qualities and it has to be imperfect. And I think that bike is pretty imperfect. And without that bike, I don't think I would be where I am right now. And that's why, like, I don't need that bike anymore, but I can't get rid of it because I have an attachment to it. My least favorite bike, I don't know, might have been my Stumpy trail bike. It was cool, but like, it wasn't really fit for what I wanted to do. I didn't even, I don't necessarily not like it. I just didn't need it. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Sure.
It unlocked a bit more for me, but like it was kind of just a in between of like the hardtail to the enduro bike for me. So
And you sold that one, right?
yeah, I paid way too much for that thing when I bought it because it was like a COVID bike.
Ah,
And but I did get $1,400 for it when I bought it for like 25, so I can't complain.
cool.
But I did like it. What about you? I'm curious because I know you've probably owned a bunch.
I have definitely cycled through some bikes in like my 3.5, 4 years of riding. I think emotionally attachment, I feel that pretty hard with my Highlander, my Deviant
Yeah,
Highlander, because that bike, I was able to get discounts on every component because of the reach of my channel. And
right.
so that was like the real first sign of like this is more than just like a hobby, like a side quest, is like
Hmm.
this is actually turning into monetary help. And like I
Right.
wouldn't have been able to get that bike without the work I did previously to build the audience, gain the following that then
Yeah.
brands were like, "Oh yeah, you have a reach. We want our products to be seen in your video. We'll give you this discount," right? Um, so that was cool. It rides great. There but there are some imperfections like the head tube angle is 65 degrees. I'm
Hmm.
a big fan of 63 and a half. Like
Okay.
I ride too much steep, harder stuff that 65 definitely feels like I'm going over the bars in some things.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
also it is full 29, but for that sake, it's so good as just a trail bike. And so I
Right.
can't see myself getting rid of it because I like
And
still
you
riding.
shouldn't. Yeah,
No, and like,
exactly. I mean, that it, but it can have an emotional attachment. Like I
yeah,
said, it makes sense, and you should be if you look at that bike and think about like how far you come, like that's awesome, man. Like
yeah.
they're friends, man. They're with they're as corny as it sounds, man. They are companions. So
So probably like emotionally attachment, that's my favorite. Probably the bike that I have enjoyed riding the most, probably the Spindrift. Granted, I was
yeah.
only on that for like a month and a half, 2 months. But that bike was hooking up. Like I have a lot of unsanctioned videos I can't release because I'm not going to do that to my channel, but like of me riding the Spindrift on some gnarly trails and
Yeah.
just ripping through them. And I was like,
Yeah.
dude, oh my gosh, I keep thinking like if I wouldn't have crashed, like where that bike would have taken me. And so I'm stoked to get another one, but like that bike is just it's different. Um, and the reason why it's different is like, yeah, 180 is huge on paper, but
Yeah.
because of how like the Pro 10 suspension platform works, we have a really high like anti-squat like leverage ratio. All that essentially means is it rides smaller than 180. Like it almost
Hmm.
feels like it's 165 in the rear, 180 in the front, but it pedals phenomenally as like an enduro bike, almost like a trail bike. Pedals so good, but it's insanely poppy and playful, but it still has like a longer chainstay, so you still feel stable at speeds. Like the bike just doesn't make sense. Like how can a bike be super poppy, playful, yet feel stable and secure and while pedaling good? It's like I don't know, dude. I got on that bike and was like, holy crap, this thing actually
That
feels different.
that was like
Um,
the first time I rode the Jedi, and I took a tech trail with a dual crown on 200. I had like a really like because Vital MTB did the test for that bike at Mountain Creek. Like, and I bought
cool.
it. They were like, this thing just munches, and I'm like, that's my bike. That's what
I
I
want to
want.
eat.
I was like, feed me,
Feed
But
me.
yeah, yeah. But no, I was like, it is game changing when you get to that point where you're like, because I was riding 180, 170, and on a single crown with the braking bumps, and I was like, oh, this is. And then I went to a dual crown, and I'm like, oh, I
I have
didn't
heard
know.
that. So I've never ridden a downhill bike ever. And
Oh,
I've heard
dude,
it's
you
like
gotta.
just a different experience.
Dude, it is so it's so game changing if you want to go to the bike park. Like, I don't know how beat up Snoqualmie gets or wherever it is you
It's
go.
rough,
Yeah, I
but
mean most bike parks are, especially over here with like the way the tech is. It's not really tech; it's just a boulder field. But it's the flow trails are brutal, but the dual crown just absorbs. It's not even so much the chatter; it's just the vibration. So if you tend to gravitate towards that way, get a downhill bike. It's worth it.
yeah.
It really is. But if you're like a couple times a year bike park guy, I would say don't. It's not worth it.
I mean, that's where like the Spindrift just also fits
Right.
that use case so well. Is like
Oh
I
yeah.
could take it to Squamish, pedal on some gnarly rock slabs, but like pedal there, right?
And then go to
But
Whistler.
and then
Yeah.
go to Whistler and it would do absolutely fine. Like it's
The
not a
long travel
rage,
enduro
but
bike
like
is.
yeah.
So would you say long travel enduro bike is if you're going to own one bike, would that be the bike?
Yeah, I would say if I'm gonna own just a singular bike, like I kid you not, the Spindrift is absolutely the one I would choose, like with no hesitation. Um, it just having a bike again, like broken record, pedals well. It can handle the gnarliest trails 95% of us want to do.
Hmm.
Like that long travel enduro, the Spindrift, those bikes will handle that. But
Yeah.
then again, if you're doing like easier trail stuff, it can do fine. Um, I just it's hard. It is hard to say because everyone's riding styles different or the trails they normally ride. I would always say like if someone's looking for a one bike quiver, you've got to just adapt the bike or like choose the bike that fits what you are going to ride 75% of the time. Like
Right.
it
Do
may
your
not be a
research
Spindrift,
too.
it may be a
Yeah.
Eugene, it may be
Oh
a
yeah.
total trail bike. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and
So
that's like there's plenty of bikes like for me like as much as I adore the Spindrift, it's probably not the bike for me because just of my style. Like I'm very much a point and shoot rider. I'm not as poppy of a rider, and that's why the Canfield fits in. So I agree with that.
yeah.
I think that's very important. So
But I want to know
interesting.
too for another like audience question of like what are your guys' favorite
Yeah.
bikes? What like made them your favorite, right? Like was it the geometry, the emotional attachment, the
Yeah.
I don't know the components that came with it? I'm curious what people have enjoyed riding and what they're looking for in their next bike, right?
Yeah. It's funny too because I was like thinking like today because like I'm like when will I get a new bike? Like do I and like I don't know like I don't know. I assume the next I'll probably get an e-bike at some point. after, whatever one the battery starts fading or whatever. But I'm like, it's a year old. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I'm just like, either that or my downhill bike is just gonna disintegrate with the way I'm treating it.
And then you're gonna hang it on the wall.
I'm just gonna be like, yes,
Permanent Halloween.
I'm gonna, yeah, I'm gonna cremate it and put it in like a jar
Cremate the
behind.
creamsicle?
I'm gonna just be like, oh my God, is that your relative? No, that's actually my old bike. I
It's
I
melted down aluminum.
it's really hot. I still actually don't touch it, but no, man, this has been cool. Like, I don't know,
Yeah.
it's cool. I think we have two very different perspective when it comes to this, especially like how we view the looks of our bikes, which
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
And that's you'll yeah, we'll make sure we show like all the bikes that we're talking about so people can see them. But um anyway, yeah, thanks, Denny, for obviously for tuning in, talking
Thanks
about
for doing
bikes.
this again, man. I'm glad
Bikes.
we're continuing doing this. I enjoy it.